1, 2, 3. Hey, everybody. We think that we've got everything back up now. The technology seems to be working at this moment. It's a little bit of a pain, so not exactly sure. Trying to figure out if everything is back up. Bear with us. Bear with us. For some reason, it doesn't look like we're getting Facebook here. So I'm going to start everything up again. We had a technical issue. If you happen to miss us, everything crashed all at once. Don't know why, don't know how, but everything crashed. And when it crashed, it seems that somehow knocked Facebook off for some reason or another. Don't know why Facebook is down, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is, all right. So at the moment, I'm now broadcasting on YouTube and I'm broadcasting on Facebook Live through my phone. So I'm going to be trying to keep up with all this. But let me start off from the very beginning about what I was talking about. And I am looking for comments, notes, anyone speaking about this as I go. But essentially, we've all been affected by the coronavirus to varying degrees. Like many of you out there, I am now unemployed as well. Found out Saturday, and now I've started that process. For people who are not able to see, if you're seeing it on Facebook Live, you're going to be able to see on YouTube some of the things I'm going to be showing on the screen as we go forward. But essentially, what's going on is a lot of people have had a few problems with this, and I believe I put it on my Facebook earlier. And this came from Assemblyman John Salka, which was also by Assembly Labor Committeeman Carl Brabenek, that there has been a change in the unemployment process. So if you become unemployed, like I did, and you're going to register for unemployment insurance, you will get it. But that uninsurance benefits, whether you're going online or over the phone, is based on your last name. So the first letter of your last name would be the day that you're supposed to register for the unemployment. And that's, in this case, on Monday, is for those who have a name that starts with A up until F. So anyone from Andrew to Franklin, last names. And then Tuesday is from G through N. Wednesday would be O to Z. So as an example, for myself, I would register for unemployment on Wednesday because my last name is Vasquez. I know, everyone knows me as Vas. But that's one of the things I wanted to help people with. And if you're looking at it on YouTube, you'll see the actual link and what I showed. So you will get the unemployment benefits. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, I will lose days. That is not true. Let me be very clear about this. There's been a change. New York State has understood that people are going to have this backlog. Millions of people are trying to get on. You will get covered from the day you last worked due to the coronavirus, whether you are registering through Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on your last name. And if you miss your day for some reason, you can go back onto the New York State unemployment site and or on a phone call, and you will be able to register on Thursday, Friday. So you will still get covered. You are covered through those days, and you will get coverage to the last day that you are working. That's very important. A lot of people don't realize that. It's meant to stop the system from crashing as it did last week and still allow people to get the coverage that they need. In addition, some other news that's very important about this. A lot of people are not aware that when you go for unemployment, there's usually a 1-week period where you do not get paid. That has been waived. This is very important for people as you're looking out there saying, how am I going to make my bills? I know most people live week to week. We live paycheck to paycheck. That's true of most Americans. Well, you are still going to get paid. That 1-week period of waiting has been waived. So again, if you're going either on phone or you're going on the internet, you are going in based on the first letter of your last name, Monday is for those who are through A through F. Tuesday is for those from G through N. Wednesday is for those from O to Z. There has also been an extension for those who are filing. So if you miss your day, you can file on Thursday, you can file on Friday, and you can file on Saturday. The hours Monday through Thursday are from 8 a.m. until 7:30 p.m. That's either on the phone or on the website. On Friday, you will be able to register from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. and on Saturday from 7:30 a.m. until 8 p.m. So you will be able to register for your unemployment benefits in the state of New York if you have lost your job due to the coronavirus. Hey guys, I know a lot of people have jumped in. Kelly Wildener, thank you for seeing you, and thank you, sir. So I'm looking at the notes, and whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook or on Twitter, you're seeing this live. And the reason why I'm doing this is not only because I want to share information with everyone that's out there about what's going on. And I've been doing this for the last several episodes, if you've noticed, trying to let people know about information. But I know there's also a very big thing that's important to me. There are a lot of people out there who they don't have family, they don't have friends, they live alone. Maybe the internet is the only access they have to being social at all. I mean, there are people, maybe you can't go to the bars, you can't go to a restaurant, you can't have friends over, essentially. And there's the curfew from 8 o'clock going on. So a lot of people are there isolated by themselves, and not everyone plays video games, and there's only so many movies you can watch. Well, guys, don't worry. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this right now, because you're not alone. There are a lot of people like that. I'm one of those people. I don't have family here. I don't have a bunch of friends that can come over and hang out with me all day. I would like that, but that's not necessarily a realistic thing. So what do? Well, we get in. Let's use social media for what it is. Let's be social. Let's have conversations. Let's talk. Let's talk about the things that matter to you. And I don't know how long I'll be on today. I had a technical issue before, which is why I'm doing Facebook Live and not on my my studio screen. But let's have conversations with each other. Let's try and get ourselves through this. And for those, and one of my first podcasts about the coronavirus was very much about something that's very serious. There are a lot of people in this time. It's very depressing. This is not a positive kind of time off. We're not on vacation. And there's a lot of fear out there. I understand that. There are people who are to drugs. They're going to reach out to alcohol. They're going to consider very negative things about themselves during this time. We need to band together and say, hey, reach out to me. Talk to me. Here's a text. Here's a phone call. Whatever it takes to let them know you are not alone. You will get through this. This nation will get through this. This is not the worst thing that's ever happened to America or the world, and it's not the worst thing that's going to happen in your life. You're going to survive this. You're going to be fine. And I can say that with absolute confidence. And I mean absolute confidence. You know, a lot of people don't realize it, but in the world, and I'm showing it on my YouTube screen right now, this is the report from the, I believe this is World-O-Meter, but it's based on the current number of cases of corona in the world are 353,821. There are 15,419 deaths as of the time that I brought up this chart. In New York State, there's some 15,000 plus cases. In the United States, 35,230. Of which, in New York State, 117 people have passed and 459 in the nation. It sounds terrible. And it is, in fact, terrible that we have lost these individuals. Some of them are loved ones. But let's think about this. That means that this disease has a survivability rate for the world of 98%. For America, the survival rate is somewhere in that same, it's actually even lower. you have a 99% survival rate chance in the United States. In New York State, you have a 97.3% chance of surviving corona. You will survive this. You will get through this. Don't let fear take over. Don't let fear rule your mind. Don't succumb to drugs. Don't succumb to alcohol. Don't succumb to depression because this is so oppressive. I understand we're all in a difficult time, but we're all here together and we're all going through this together. And we will almost 100%, all of us will get through this together. There are 20 million people, 18 million people in New York State. And I can tell you, 99.3% of you will be perfectly fine. And I think that's not said enough in the media. That's not said enough in the news announcements. And I know that Governor Cuomo today did say, in his speech, as he was making his update, he had one line in there that says, most people are going to be fine. Yeah, more than most people, almost absolutely everyone. And I am concerned about the people who are not going to be okay. But, we have to also look at what happens next. Where are we going? How are we going to survive this? What's going to happen next? And I think if we talk about it, we take away the fear from it, and then we'll go forward. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, Mike, you got to remember, there's, it's highly contagious. Everyone's getting this. It's so huge. Well, no, not everyone is getting it. About 1% of the nation have gotten it, actually less have gotten it. But more honestly is, yes, it's contagious, but it's not deadly. There's a big difference. And I don't think, again, the media has not made this very clear. And I think people need to hear this over and over again. Could you get coronavirus? Maybe. You probably already had it, but you will survive this. You will get past this because it is very survivable and you will make it through. And our nation is working together to make sure we're going to be okay. So yeah, you can get unemployment and you will be covered and you will be okay. And that's an important thing. And you don't need drugs to do that. You don't need alcohol to do that. You don't need to harm yourself to do that. And for domestic abuse, you don't need to harm others either. Already in Utica and other parts of the state, there has been an increase in domestic abuse cases. Whether that's physical or mental, it doesn't really matter. And there are programs and there are organizations out there to help with that. And I want to stress that as well. I believe it's the Rise New York and also in Utica, I forget the name of the organization, are both available to help people with domestic abuse. Their hotlines are active right now, and I am waiting for responses from them. By the way, I just want to respond to a gentleman on Facebook who is commenting, and I get that he's making light of a lot of what I'm talking about, and that's fine. Laughter is good. Humor is good. Some of his comments aren't. And you know the comments that you're seeing right there. Let's be a little serious. We can be light about this, but there's also some serious. At this moment, I'm talking about something serious. Domestic abuse is important. And we need to make sure, you can go to Rise New York. I'll get their phone number. I forgot to write that down. If you're in the Utica area, the phone number is 315-797-7740. Again, I'll say 315-797-7740. And give me a second. For the Rise in New York Domestic Abuse Program, their phone number is, where is it? Here it is. And I'm showing it on screen as we speak. Their phone number should be right there, 607-748-7453. Again, that phone number is 607-748-7453. If you're a victim of domestic abuse in the Southern Tier region, In the Utica and Mohawk Valley region, it would be 315-797-7740. Because in these trying times, no one needs to be a victim of violence of any sort, whether it's domestic abuse or anything else. So I think these are important things to talk about. Maybe not everyone agrees with me, but I think it's important that we take away the fear, we take away the hype, we take away the anxiety about this and talk about some of the realities. Let's have this conversation with each other and say, hey, this isn't terrifying. This isn't the bubonic plague. This isn't going to end the world. This isn't like some movie Contagion or whatever. This is very survivable. This is not the end. Yes, our economy will go into a recession. Absolutely. Hi, Claudia. I see Claudia. Claudia Miller is one of many who have joined us. And yeah, this isn't some kind of movie. This isn't Outbreak or Contagion or one of those horror movies. This is reality. And the reality is, yeah, we're going to have a recession. Some people are going to lose jobs. Businesses will close, some of them. And we will deal with that as a nation. We have $1.8 billion that's being disputed right now in Congress, regardless of the back and forth of the politics. And I'm trying to stay away from the politics. I know that's usually what I do. But regardless of the politics, a bill is going to be passed. People are going to be taken care of. Businesses are going to be helped, as many as possible. Our communities are not going to end. We're not going to go into anarchy. You're not going to go into chaos. We're going to come out of this at the other side, all of us. And we will get new jobs or create new businesses. We're going to do better. And our country will continue to move forward together. It's going to happen. And I hope and as long as we keep that mindset, as long as we remember, there is daylight at the end of this. We're all going to do better. We're all going to get out of this. I think that's a very important thing. And we just don't hear enough of that in the news. We don't hear that in the updates. We keep hearing about the number of people infected. That number is going to go up. Let's take away the mystery. That number is going to go up. Okay. The thing that we need to focus on is not how many people are infected. How many people are surviving? How many people are doing well? The fact that people are coming out of this and they're going to be doing better and better, that they are going to be healthy, that they're going to continue to do all right. That is the focus we need to have right now. Our leaders need to come out and speak with that more often. And I'm not one of them, or at least not yet. But what I do want to focus on is I'm a member of your community. I'm your neighbor. I'm someone you speak to, you go to work with, you see me on the bus or whatever. Guess what? You're going to survive just as much as I am. And I'm 52. I'm not worried about this because I know that we are all going to do better. We're all going to come out of this whole. Our nation will survive. We're going to get a couple $1 trillion that are going to be spent to make sure you're not going to lose your home. You're not going to lose your rent. You're going to be able to feed yourself. That's important to remember. You will get fed. You will get the food you need. You will get to keep your home. You will keep your possessions. Your friends and loved ones will survive. That is something I predict right now, and I can almost give you a guarantee. 99.7% of the nation is going to survive. We're going to move forward. We're going to do well. You are if you are listening to this, you're probably part of that number. You're going to do fantastic. And you don't need drugs. You don't need alcohol. You don't need to abuse anyone or beat on anyone or violence. You don't have to panic. You're going to be okay. The trucks are running across the nation. By the way, I want to thank the truckers that are out there because as long as those truckers are moving, food is coming to your stores. And we've already seen after the initial panic here, stores are restocking. I know in my local area, Price Chopper, Walmart, they're working nonstop to refresh and restock the stores. You don't need to hoard every single piece of meat that's out there. You don't have to take every piece of toilet paper that's there. You're going to get through this. The roads are still going through. Let's think about this for everyone who maybe can't get to the store easily. You don't need 50 steaks, 2 or 3 per person. Leave something for someone else, because someone else may not be able to have the ease to get back to that store. Someone like me, I don't drive. I walk to the store. I walk to the store and back. I take public transportation. There's lots of people who don't have cars. Give them the opportunity to be able to get there to that store that 1 time a week or 2 times a week that they can, to be able to have enough to keep them alive and to keep them going as we get through this, because more is on the way. We are not running out of food in this nation. We are not running out of supplies in this nation. We are not running out of anything in this nation. Maybe iPhones. But you know what? Do you really need an iPhone right this second? No. You're going to live without an iPhone. I did. Before there were iPhones, I was here. Millions of people were. We're going to be going forward. And if you have to, you get a burner phone for a little while, and then you'll keep going. Let me emphasize this again. The reason why I'm here is there are a lot of people who have fear right now, who are terrified, who are afraid. Let's have the conversations, because we don't have to be, and we shouldn't be, and there's no need to be. Our community, our neighbors are the same people every day. The same people you knew a month ago are the same people who are there right now. They're going to be there in 3 months. They're not going to lose their homes. They're not going to get kicked out. The government's not going to come and take it away. Now, do we need to make sure that we watch our government, that we watch our neighborhoods, that we watch out for bad people or people with bad intentions? Absolutely, we do. And together, we make sure that we're all going to be okay. Thank you, Mario Paz. By the way, I see Mario Paz, Emmanuel Priest, so many people. I thank you all for checking this out. But I want you to understand, we are all fine as long as we don't let the fear take us over. As long as we stay together and we keep informing each other about what's going on, to let each other know about the news that's important. You know what's not important? How many people are infected today? That doesn't matter. That is not the important news. The important news is how many people have survived today. 99% of the nation, of the world? That's important. What's important? Did the stores restock? Can you go and get some food for your neighbor? Do you know someone who's elderly that maybe needs toilet paper or needs some meat or fresh vegetables? You know what? I went through something similar to this, and let me share this with you guys. When I was living in California, this is back about 1994, thereabouts, and there was the Northridge earthquake. I lived 5 miles from the epicenter of the Northridge earthquake in Fallbrook. And it was horrible. I mean, I thought it was like an 8.0, but it's like a 7.0 earthquake. To give you an idea what that's like, imagine someone having a jackhammer 3 inches away from your face, and they set that thing off. Imagine everything around you is shaking violently so you can't even stand up. That's a 7.0 earthquake. That's where buildings fall down. It's absolutely devastatingly terrifying. And it happened at 0 dark in the morning. It was well before, I think it was about 4:30 in the morning, middle of the night. It is horrendous to wake up to that. And people were traumatized all through the entire LA basin, whole area. And you know what we did? We got together, and when the stores started opening up, and even before then, all the neighbors got together. We pulled out our little hibachis and our grills and brought them up to the front yard where everyone was living with tents. And they said, okay, let's get all the food together, and we're going to grill all the hamburgers we can. We're going to grill, a bunch of hot dogs. And everyone's grilling. We grilled steaks, and the kids in the neighborhood were just going to whoever's grill, and they could eat. And everyone had food, and we shared it together. And we would just grill and make food, and everyone had some food together because everyone on the block and everyone in the community were just out in our lawns, and we were just sharing food and cooking and talking with each other. And that's how we got through the Northridge earthquake, which took over, it was over a week before things started to even begin to normalize. And that's while there were aftershock after aftershock of 6.0, 5.0, 4.0. It was not something that just happened and stopped. It kept going. And I say that because that's kind of like what we're seeing right now. This is something that has happened and it's continuing to go. But guess what? If we all come together, we're going to be fine. Does that mean we should all go out and make barbecues in our neighborhoods? Maybe. Why not? Invite your neighbors over. Let's have actually, I do know why not. Because they say we have to stay apart. But I would go out and make a barbecue for my neighbors if they wanted it. But maybe it's this, instead of doing the barbecue, let's do this. Social media. Let's have a conversation with our neighbors. Let's talk. Let's talk about the things that are positive, about how we're going to do so much better after this. Because we will. I don't know. Now, this is a lot of me just talking. By the way, hey, I see John Belk and I see Vanessa Warnicki. And thank you, Mario, for thinking some of these are good points. Guys, talk with me. I'm paying attention, whether it's on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook. I'm looking for your comments. Let's talk. Is there anything that someone doesn't know? Hey, Mark Kuda just joined. Is there someone out there who doesn't know what's going on? That you're afraid? I mean, do you think that this is the end? It's not. The stock market, is it down? Absolutely. Will it go back up? Absolutely. Because 2 weeks ago, the fundamentals were fine. Our nation had 3% unemployment. Businesses were doing well. Everyone had a good outlook for the country. Guess what's going to happen after we get past this? We're going back to that. Because things haven't really changed. Fear has come in, and I blame some of the media for emphasizing the fear as much as they did. Concern is important, but fear is too much. But you have not lost your 401k. You have not lost your investments. Don't sell. Just wait. I'll give you another example of what I'm talking about here in my lifetime. I remember 9/11. I was a stockbroker at the time, working in Midtown Manhattan. And I remember watching as the second jetliner hit the World Twin Towers. It was a bad day. I had friends that worked in that building. I had people who worked around that building in that area. I was scared for them. It was terrifying. Thousands of people were killed just in that moment. And I know a lot of people I talked to in the week afterwards, in the days afterwards. I had people who were talking to me, my clients, when I was a stockbroker, and saying, hey, Mike, we got to sell. The market's going straight down. Everything's falling apart. I don't know what we're going to do. And I said to them, well, wait. By the way, hey, Ron Stafford, I see you there too. I said, wait, slow down. Do you think America's going to be here in 5 years? He said, yeah, I do. Then don't sell your investments. Nothing changed. Fear happened. An event happened. A sad and tragic and terrible thing happened. But America didn't end. Our neighbors didn't disappear. The world didn't stop as we know it. We got a shock. A terrible, awful shock on 9/11. But guess what? We also got to move forward. And we improved. And the market came back. Your investments will continue. A great example, one I personally am trying to buy right now, is Alcoa. I'm not telling you as an investment advice. I'm telling you just as an idea. Aluminum is not going to disappear. We're not losing aluminum for the rest of our lives. We're going to still have Reynolds wrap. We're going to still use it for cars and various devices. But the company's stock fell as if they went out of business. They didn't. We still needed aluminum. that stock's perfectly fine. That company is perfectly fine. We just need to get through this emotional bump, and the company goes back to its operations. Guess what? That stock will go back up. It was $22 2 weeks ago. It's $5 today. I'm rounding numbers. Guess what? That's going to be okay. And I can tell you, the overwhelming majority of businesses in America today are in that same exact position. 2 weeks ago, they were doing business and they were fine. 2 months, 3 months, whatever, they're going to be back to that. Your life is going to be back to that. Right now, it doesn't feel like it. Right now, there's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of worry. But guess what? Fear is fear. Put that aside. We're going to be fine. It's going to move forward. We're going back to a sense of normalcy. You know, I just want to take the time to say that, because I'm not hearing that in the news. I'm not hearing that enough. And I want you to see that. I'm looking at the data. I'm looking at the news. I'm looking at the companies. And guess what? Take out the fear. Things aren't that bad. There's a lot of scary stuff, but that will pass. And you will be okay. I give you that promise. You're going to be okay. I am sure of it. I have no doubt in it. And I think we can come together and become stronger and better communities. I mean, there's a lot of ways to look at the positives that will come out of this. You get to know your neighbors better. You get to know your friends better. You get to know your family better. For those of us without family in the area, like myself, you get to learn how to do your video games. Get to work on writing that book. I have a book. 130,000 words in. And I haven't finished it. Well, now's the time I'm going to finish that. I get to take a moment to speak with everyone out on the internet and talk with you guys and say, hey, I'm glad to be here with you. To let people in my community know, I'm thinking about you, every single one of you. And I'm not the only one. Please, don't think I'm the only one. I'm not. I'm not even trying to hint at that. There are people out there. Kelly Wildener. Kelly's out there. There's Fred Akshar. There's Donald Opardo. There's Jason Garnar. There's Mayor Rich David. Anthony Brindisi. Claudia Tenney. There are people all over. And they are focused on one thing. Hey, Jarrell. They're focused on one thing, trying to get your life back to normal, to make sure that you have food, that you have electricity, that you have the necessities to get you through this period to get us back to normal. And I think they're going to do it. I absolutely know they're going to do it. It's going to happen. You know, I mentioned I've had an interesting life. I've been through a bunch of tragedies and scary moments. I remember when I was living in Moscow, and this is back in 91. Hey, Nikki McWinney is also with us. And I remember when I was living in Moscow, there was the coup attempt. The RFGC had decided that they didn't like becoming more of a capitalist nation and that they wanted to go back to the old hardline ways of communism. And they tried to take over the government. And Gorbachev was missing. And in the morning, every TV station, radio station, we're all playing this dirge music that normally only plays when the leader of Russia has died. And there are messages. Troops were moving all throughout the city of Moscow, and tanks were in the town. And we were hearing rumors that, every one of the expatriates, people from outside of Russia and Moscow, were going to be grabbed up and thrown into gulags so we could die. Hey, Mike Wood joined. It was an absolutely devastating, terrifying 3 days. Absolutely it was horrific. And you know what I noticed about that? We got past it. It wasn't the worst thing that ever happened. Well over 99.99% of all the people survived. No one went to a gulag. World War III didn't start. We made it through. People came together, they supported each other, and they made it through. But it was an absolutely terrifying time. We all absolutely thought it was all over. And in each of these experiences I've had in my life, I've seen, oh my God, the emotion at that very moment, the emotion that you might have right now says, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to make it to tomorrow. And my experience in my lifetime, 52 years, has taught me one thing: you'll make it to tomorrow. Whether you've been in a civil war, coup attempt, homeless, you've watched fires, floods, earthquakes, natural disasters, you'll wake up tomorrow. I can say all of those, that you'll wake up tomorrow, because I have. That has been my experience in my lifetime. Yes, we will make it through because I have made it through before, and I have no reason to believe we won't. As long as you're not panicking. As long as you're not letting the fear overwhelm you. Mario says he's got to run, but he'll watch the rest when he returns. A+, people need positive words. Well, Mario, that's what I think as well. Thank you for checking it out as long as you did, and I'm glad that you're going to check it out later. And I hope that everyone is taking this as a positive, because that's why I'm doing it. This is a positive. I want you to know you are going to be okay. And that if you're having problems, there are a ton of people right now who are working every day to make sure you're going to be okay. Those essential services are there to make sure you've got electricity, to make sure you've got heat, to make sure that you're not a victim of violence, to make sure that if you have a problem with drugs or alcohol, that you have support. If you have mental issues, that you're afraid of harming yourself, there are people actively right now. They are working. You can get in touch with them on the phone. You can get in touch with them on the internet. They will help you. You are not alone. You are not trapped. If you need help, it will come to you. Our government, our people will help you. Reach out. Reach out with a phone call, text, an email. Reach out. You will get the help you need. I know this. I've lived this. I'm living this right now with you. Now, someone may be seeing this, they don't know who I am, and they'll think, well, Mike, you're some kind of rich guy then, I guess. You're living in a mansion, you got servants or something, you got huge stockpiles. None of that is true. I'm a working class guy, just like everyone else. I work just like everyone else. I have bills just like everyone else. I don't have stockpiles of anything that are going to make me live longer than anyone else. I'm here just like you are. But I can tell you, I'm not afraid. I'm not letting fear rule my life. I'm not letting the situation, the emotion of this moment, stop me from being able to live and stop me from being able to try and help you lift yourself up. I got a message from Mike J. Woodward. He says, I agree. We will make it to tomorrow. We can all talk and laugh about this next year. You know what? We will. We will. I can tell you, in the most terrifying moments in my life, when I was in Moscow during the coup attempt, when I was in the earthquake at Northridge, when I was homeless twice out in L.A., when I got in my motorcycle accident, broke my leg. Every single time. I can go through a couple of more. There are a lot of incidents, sadly, that I've gone through in my life. Absolutely sure that it was going to end. The world was done. I remember when I broke up with my significant other. She was 15 years relationship, lost that. You know what? Devastating. Life ends. You feel like it. Oh, I don't know how I'm going to make it to tomorrow. Guess what? You do. The world keeps moving. You keep moving. And when you stop letting that emotion weigh you down, when you stop letting that emotion hold you back, you do okay. And you keep moving forward. How do I put that into perspective here when we're talking about coronavirus? Take away the fear. Some people have gotten sick. Some people will get sick. Almost every single one of them. 98% of them are going to be fine. Unless they have a pre-existing condition. They're extremely old or they're extremely sick already. If you're not that, which 98% of the population aren't, you're going to be fine. Kelly Wildener says, stay calm and carry on. Be prepared, not scared. And I agree. That is an excellent piece of advice, Kelly. You're absolutely right. And we need to say that to each other. More than we're seeing the news say, be afraid, be nervous. Here's the latest infected number. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Because you're going to be all right. And you're going to get through this. And you're going to do fine. Hell, you may have already been infected. You don't even know it. And you're okay. Don't let the fear stop you. Be prepared. Be sensible. Be reasonable. You need 2 rolls of toilet paper? Okay. Maybe get 3. And then let the next person get what they need. You need food? Great. Get what you need. Maybe a little bit more. Just a little bit. And let the next person get what they need. You know your neighbor can't make it to the store. They don't have a car. They don't have, they're too old to walk. There's not enough room on the bus because of the limited spacing. Maybe you can go and get it for them. Help them out. These are little things we can all do. And we will get through this. Order food. I don't want to leave out all the businesses. We've got great businesses, I know, in the southern tier. I'm a fan of many of the businesses out here. There's a larger number of restaurants and people who work at them. Fantastic people. Great food. And I'm looking forward. I try, as my money will allow, to go and order and have takeout. To keep them around, to keep them going. And I'm looking forward to when we're past this so I can go back to their restaurants and patronize them and be there in person and say, thank you for having this food. Thank you for what you've been doing. And I know a lot of these institutions, Belmar and Old Union and a couple of them, a bunch of them, I think all of them, in fact, are out there making sure that kids get food every day, preparing lunches. And I think it's fantastic. And I thank them for that. And I know that's not just in the Southern Tier or upstate New York. It's everywhere in the nation we're seeing that. People are making sure those in need get the help they need. Esperanza joined us. Gary joined us. Hey, great to see you both. And so I definitely want to help them too. Get them that, one extra order if I can. Without going overboard, without losing our minds. Kelly Wildener mentions, absolutely, the lifeblood of our community. He's right. These are the lifeblood of our community because they're here in the community with us. These small businesses are us. We work at them. We go to them. We support them. We patronize them. They pay for our friends and neighbors and homes. All our small businesses. You're right, Kelly. All of our small businesses. And I don't want to isolate one or the other, just the ones that came to mind immediately. And I'm not leaving anyone out. I believe in all of them equally. These guys are what we need. And I'm looking forward to being able to continue to work with them, patronize them, support them. Because they're going to be here tomorrow. And they're going to be here the tomorrow after that. And they're going to be here 6 months in a year. They're going to be here. And we're all going to be here. Hi, Callie. Hi, Matt. Hey, Matt. Hey, Danielle. We're all going to be here. We are all going to survive this. I know, I said it a couple times. I'm going to keep saying it because someone has to say it. And I'm happy to be one of those people saying it. And I hope others are going to say it. And let's fill Facebook, Twitter, all the social media with the idea, we're going to be fine. We here and around the world, we're going to be fine. And we're going to get through this together. And we're going to be better together. Because we are. We absolutely are. And I know this. You know, I know it because I've lived on the East Coast, I've lived on the West Coast, I've lived overseas. And one thing I've always noticed, when the worst of tragedies happen, people come together. People help each other. It's just natural. Throw the politics out for the time being. This isn't about politics. I don't care what your politics are. I don't care if you love my site, love my politics, hate my politics. This has nothing to do with any of that. This is about people. And I can tell you, no matter what you believe, no matter what your religion, your skin color, no matter what your politics, no matter how much money you make or don't make, we're all people. And when someone is hurting, we go out and we try to help that person. Just like we would want someone to come and help us. And I can tell you, overwhelmingly in my life, in some of the worst life-threatening incidents and situations I have ever had, people always come together and we always help each other as a community, as in individuals. And we will be here for you and you and you. We will be there for each other and we will all bring each other along together to the end of this. Whether that's in 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, I don't care. We're all going to be in this together, and we're all going to come out of it together. Hey, Mike. Mike Tanz has joined us as well. Tanzini, excuse me. That's the message. That's the important one. Hey, Neil. Neil's joined us as well. And for those who have been joining a little bit later, I've been talking for a little while here. This is going out on YouTube. It's going out on Facebook. It should be on Twitter as well. Thank you, Kelly. I'm talking to a lot of people. I'm watching, for text messages and all the messages. And this is a conversation, by the way. It's not just me. Hey Neil. This isn't just me talking out, but it is saying, hey, this is important. We are all together. This is about being positive. This isn't about fear. It's the rejecting fear. It's rejecting the idea that we have to be terrified by a bunch of numbers that aren't the numbers we need to know. Don't ask yourself how many people are infected. Ask yourself how many people have recovered. Almost everybody. Don't ask yourself about, oh, I don't have work. Well, will I be able to get paid? Yes, you will. The community is going to make sure of that. And just to recap, for a bunch of people who may have missed it earlier when I was saying it, you are going to be covered if you have lost your job, like I have, because of the coronavirus. You have unemployment coming to you. Hey, Chris. Hi, Oliver. You can file and you will get paid from the last day that you had work going forward. That is set in stone. They are asking you. The government has asked that if you're going to be filing for unemployment, like millions of us are, we're all in this together, then that's no problem. Just remember that so we don't blow up the system again, it is based on the last name, depending on your last name. So on Monday from 8 a.m. until 7:30 p.m., you can file for unemployment. If your name starts with an A or ends from A to F, your last name is A to F, you file today. On Tuesday, if your last name starts with a G to an N, from G to N, from 8 o'clock until 7:30, you can file. For people who have O to Z, like myself, you can file for unemployment on Wednesday from 8 a.m. until 7:30 p.m. If you find out after the fact, you missed this, you get this message late, you can file on Thursday from 8 a.m. until 7:30 p.m. You can file on Friday from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. And you can file on Saturday from 7:30 a.m. until 8 p.m. You will get your unemployment. You don't have to wait the 7-day waiting period. It is gone. You're going to start getting covered and helped immediately. The government is there for you. It's trying to do its best, as best that government can do. There are elected officials who are working day and night. I've talked to some of them. Others I know about what they're doing. They are working to make sure you're going to be okay, that you're going to have food, that you're going to be able to pay your bills. Remember, if you have a mortgage, the interest has been waived. And I know that there's been several other developments with that. You're not losing your home over this time period. Many of your credit card companies have removed the interest rates on your credit cards during this time period. We are working together as a nation. We are coming together as a nation. We're going to get through this as a nation. And I see Chris Rod. I did say Oliver, Chris, and I see Emily's joined us. And I hope everyone's spread this. Spread the good news. You're going to be okay. That's the good news I want to spread. That's a positive message. And if you have problems, I've said it several times, I'm going to say it again. Hey, Vic, I see you there too. If you have a problem with alcohol, if you have a problem with drugs, if you have a problem with domestic abuse, God forbid, if you are worried about your mental state, you want to hurt yourself, don't do it. There are people out there who are going to help you. Kelly, thank you for being here as long as you have. Kelly's been watching for a while. He's got to go now. I thank you, Kelly, for joining me as long as you have and for your words of encouragement. And I hope everyone is getting a positive from this. I think it's a good thing to, I'm spending an hour here talking with you guys. I want to make sure everyone's feeling better. I hope people are feeling better because they're watching this. Because I know as a 52-year-old black guy who's been through a flood, a fire, earthquakes, who has been through coup attempts, who has been homeless twice, you're going to make it through this. I guarantee you. I can see each and every one of you. You're going to get through this. You're going to be okay. Our community is going to be okay. We're going to come out the other side of this and we're going to be stronger. We are. Even if you don't feel it right now, you will. God bless you too, Kelly. And I'm telling you this because, and I have no reason to tell you this other than I want to see you at the other side of this. I want to see all of my friends. I want to see my neighbors. I want to see my family members. I want to see the people who annoy me on the other side of this doing better, feeling better, knowing that they got through this and that, you know what, it wasn't as bad as the fear made it seem like, because that's the only thing that's holding you back right now is fear. Vic mentions, just got back from delivering toilet paper to 3 different elderly homes after posting online my number for people over 70 who are out there. Thank you, Vic. That is a wonderful thing to do. And I recommend it for people. If you can, why not? Help where we can. You don't have to do more than you can. Just do what you can. Not everyone can go out and deliver to 3 different elderly homes. Maybe they don't have the money. Maybe they don't have a vehicle. I don't. Do what you can. Do a little bit. And if we all do just a little bit, we do more than enough. Everyone gets to do well. Kelly mentions, one more thing. It's not what one person does alone. It's what everyone does together. Hashtag together, hashtag we will get through this. Yes. And that's what I'm talking about, Kelly. It's all of us doing something. Whatever that little thing is, whatever your little thing is, giving someone that sunshine, that ray of sunlight, that hope for tomorrow, the food, toilet paper, whatever. We bring it all together and we move forward. One of my things is information. And for all the elected officials who are out there who are watching this, and I know a bunch of them do watch from time to time, get in touch with me. That's what this alternative means of media. I have an alternative means of media. Please use this. Let's get the word out. Let's let people know the things that they can do that can help them. Any programs, anything that can help. My door is open. It's always been open to any elected official, but especially now. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican, a Libertarian, a conservative, or I don't care. Whoever. If you're working on a program, you're working on a project that's going to help people, then please, you need this airwave, get on. Give me a call. My number, 607-242-1582. If you have my other phone number, give it a call. Send me an email. Let me know. I will make the time to make sure your message is going to get out and say, this is how we can help more people. So I ask anyone in the elected officials, whether it's here at the Southern Tier, Broome County, Binghamton, whether it's in the 8 counties that I normally deal with in central New York, Utah, up in Utica or Mohawk Valley, Oswego, Tioga, whether it's someone from Congress or running for Congress, I don't care. All of you, if you have something that can help people and you want to get it out there and you say, hey, maybe Mike can reach someone that normally doesn't get reached, I am happy to use my airwaves, my time, my equipment to be able to put that message out there. Because we need the positives out there. We need to know that we can help each other, and we can. And we can. And we will. Vic mentions God's watching, and I hope he is. He has a plan that we don't know about. We don't see what's going to happen next. He does. So don't worry. This is a challenge, but it's a challenge you will make it past. You will get past it. Neil mentions, I'll be fine and I'm good as of now, but what options are there for us small business owners or self-employed that can't get unemployment, excuse me. I personally have been trying to still support my friends, give me a moment, such as getting takeout from the Belmar and trying to promote them. Neil, one, you're doing a fantastic job. That's everything you could be expected to do. In terms of what's going to help you, how do we help those small businesses out there? Well, in the Congress right now is working on a bill, which is for the coronavirus. It's about between 1.2 and $1.8 billion, depending on the version and who's counting. But roughly almost $2 trillion. And of that, $350 million is directed squarely for small businesses alone. These are going to be loans that, at least that's the current language, is it'll be a loan that'll help get you a month to 2 months of what your normal payroll would be to be able to pay your rent, to pay the utilities, the services, to keep your business afloat. And as long as you use those funds to either pay employees or keep the business alive, that loan is going to be forgivable. So that's the thought for small business right now, is they're going to be giving small business loans to all these small businesses throughout the nation to get them a month, 2 months, to get through the real peak of this and get us to the other side, to make sure your business is going to be able to stay alive and keep operating once we get past this. That's the initial tranche. That's the initial outlay. And I have no doubt there will be more money coming out, whether to individuals or to small businesses or both, to help them get a little bit further and to be able to make ends meet to get through this. No one's going to get rich off of this, but it will get you through. And there's another $425 million that is being, billion dollars that is being debated right now, which is on top of the $350 billion that is being debated on how to spread to businesses as well. So, and thank you, Vic. And by the way, I do want to add in there, and I'll mention it again, that CHOW, which is a local organization here in the Southern Tier. There are similar groups throughout New York State and around the country that donate food to those in need. And it seems that I'm being told their levels of food, canned foods, are a little low. If you have the ability to donate to CHOW, CHOW, please do, because they're trying to get it out to the most in need in our communities. So, and they've been very effective doing that in good economy, bad economy, and especially now. And so if you can help them, great. But Neil, I'm trying to answer your question here. So there's somewhere in the range of about $750 billion. It's the final terms aren't there. That's the best that I know of as of today. I know at 12 o'clock they were working on trying to do a vote and or still in negotiations. I don't expect it to take more than a day or two because politics be damned. At the end of the day, businesses and people need this money. It's coming out there. And Neil mentions, good to know, I don't have money coming in, but I don't have any going out either. At this, so long as this doesn't go on too long, I'll be fine. Thank you for the info. Well, that's what I'm here for, information. And Neil, I think a lot of small businesses right now are in that mode of, I can probably make it a month. As long as we can get through the first month and I can get back into business to some degree, we're going to get there. Governor Cuomo, even himself, this afternoon, looking at the time, it was about 11 o'clock today, where he was mentioning, we need to get the economy jumpstart. We need to get back into it. I agree. I think we need to focus on small businesses. And I want to see tax cuts for small businesses, and I want to see an incentive for those small businesses anyway. But he's agreeing. And whether that means that we let some of the youngest get back to work first, or maybe I've heard suggestions that we could maybe have people working at least one day a week in non-essential businesses, or maybe it's going to be 1 week a month for non-essential businesses as we get through this. And looking forward, we're trying to look at this not as a 1 week plan, but what do we do for the next 6 months? How do we get through the next 6 months? It's not enough to get through the next tomorrow. You're going to get through tomorrow. You're going to be here tomorrow. Everything I'm talking about is getting you to, I want to see you in 6 months. When I'm saying we're going to get through this, I'm not talking about now, this hour, or this week. I'm talking about the next 6 months. I'm talking about the next year. You're going to get through this. We're all going to get through this together. And so, yeah, I'm looking at businesses, and we understand leaders are in discussions. They're having conversations saying, how do we plan to get everyone together and through this for the next 6 months, for the next year? This is just the beginning of us fixing our economy, of us fixing our communities, of us keeping our small businesses alive, because we all know small businesses are the engine of our economy. 70% of everyone employed is working for a small business. I get it. We can't let them fail. We need them all. Your business, Neil, the Belmar, Thai Time, Audio Man. There's so many businesses. My mind floods thinking of all the small businesses just within a couple of blocks of me. And that's something we all have. You're not going to fail. We don't want you to fail. And we're all going to try and support. And our government's going to come together. Because if they don't, all hell will come down upon them, and they know that. You want to see things get done? Tell a politician they're going to get elected out of office. Suddenly they'll come up with everything. Mind you, I'm not picking on any party. I'm not picking on anyone. That's not the point. The point is we're going to get through it. We're going to do this. And we're going to do this together. And it's going to work. It's going to work because America is the most powerful, strongest nation in the world. And when I say strongest and I say powerful, I'm talking about the people. I'm talking about freedom. And yeah, we have to watch out for things like not losing our liberty, curfews, martial law, even in a limited sense. But I'm not going to be held up on that. Let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the fact that we're one of the most powerful, greatest nations in the world because together, we band together all these people from all these different cultures and religions and ethnicities and traditions, and we always come together. And we band together and we make each other strong. You make me strong. I hope I can make you strong. And together, that's how we are all strong. That's what carries us through. Jason, Robert, Bob Seidel, it's good to see you guys. But, and I say that because I've seen it. Again, I mentioned earlier, and I'll mention it again, when I was in California and the Northridge earthquake hit. You know what? It was all the people, all the neighbors coming together, banding together, watch the kids, make the food, buying in bulk, taking care of each other. That got us through. That's why we all did okay. We came out the other side, and no one lost their homes, and everyone was able to get fed because we came together, and we supported each other, and we supported the local small business as best we could until we could get back on our feet. That's important. When I think back of all the crazy things I've been through in my life, it's the people around us that help us the most. When I was homeless, it was a recovering drug addict that helped me to be able to get the opportunity to get back on my feet and rebuild my life. I've told a lot of people this story, and some people may have heard it or some haven't. I was sleeping on the church steps, one block off of Hollywood Boulevard on Orange in LA, and got startled in the middle of the night when I was homeless. And I surprised him, he surprised me. It was the middle of the night, and we started talking. We had a conversation. And as we had this conversation, he settled down, and I got a little calm, and we shared a cigarette, and we suddenly realized he's a recovering addict, and he was about to relapse, and he was about to go out and rob someone so that he could get drugs. And he realized in the conversation while we were talking, that wasn't his choice. That wasn't the right thing to do. Instead, he went and he got help. He went to his sponsor, and he didn't harm anyone that night, himself with drugs or others because of the drugs. Hey, Hector. And for my part of it, and the great thing is he was also able to help me because he gave me a place that I could sleep, where people would watch over me and I would be okay. I didn't have to worry about getting robbed or raped or killed. And that my few meager possessions at the time that I was homeless weren't going to be taken, that I would be all right. And in that next morning when I woke up, those same people that he had that were his friends watching over me went out and they showed me where I could get food and where I could wash up and take care of myself to get enough strength to go back out and say, hey, let me get another job. Let me start over this whole process and rebuild my life. And I did. And here I own a house. I'm not rich, not by a long shot, but I'm okay. And you can too. It's those little conversations we have with each other, those little interactions. That's what gets us through the hardest times, the darkest times. Hey, Donald. And that's what gets us through all these difficulties. I have no doubt we will all get through this together. This is a time of fear on news media, where it's been overemphasized. The positive is 98% of the world survives coronavirus. In the United States, 99% of people survive. You will survive. And we will be better. Bob mentions to me, Bob Seidel, I've seen our local people come together during the 2 floods. That's right. We had lent a hand without being asked. We were helping someone recover and cleaning out his place, and his neighbor who had it worse than my friend, and that neighbor brought us a case of water. We're strong when we join together. You know what? Thank you for reminding me. And Bob, you're absolutely right. And I remember the flood as well. I remember I think it was the 2011 flood when I think it was 15 people and 4 dogs in my house because I could. I had the space. So I had people just come on over, a bunch of friends, a bunch of people who got flooded out came over. I'm like, okay, I've got the room. Come on, stay at my house. And they did. And they got through this together. It's the little things. Every one person you help helps everyone else down the chain. It's a domino effect. And that's why I've said it several times, and I'll say it again. If you're thinking, well, I need alcohol to get through this, I need drugs to get through this, I need to hurt myself. No, you don't. We are all in this together. You're going to be okay. You don't need those things. And there are people who will help you if that's what you feel, to help you through, to support you in this time. And the best way to get past all of that is stay social. I know there are people out there like myself. You don't got family. Nowhere. My closest family is 4 hours away. And I know that you may be saying, I'm all alone in this apartment, this house, this room. And you're saying, oh, well, I'm all by myself. Video games don't make it. Movies don't make it. Don't worry, because you're still not alone. We have the internet. We have cell phones. We have email. Reach out to people. Talk to people. Check the organizations that are available. And you will make it through. And yes, Neil, a little Jameson never hurt, although I would prefer maybe a good scotch. Believe it or not, I'm out of scotch, though. Of all the timing of all this, I have no scotch. I like scotch, folks. The good stuff. Glenlivet 21-year-old Special Reserve. Not that I drink at home, but because I really don't. But it would have been nice. So, yeah, I know how you feel there. And be responsible, folks. I'm not saying, we should all be teetotalers. No one, we're going to go dry. No one can have any alcohol, or you can't have cigarettes, or I'm not saying that. Please don't take me that way, folks, if anyone did. I'm not suggesting that you suddenly give up everything. But I am saying let's be responsible. Let's be careful. Let's be sure. Let's not go to excess. You're going to make it through all of this. Donald mentions mortality rate is currently 0.04%. I can understand being careful, but media is way overreacting. Yes, I think the media is way overreacting. In the studies I've seen, looking at the world, we're looking at 98%. I mentioned this before, some of the numbers that I had checked out. In the United States right now, New York, there's almost just under 16,000 cases. There's been 117 deaths reported. That is 0.7% of the cases that were deadly. In New York State, with 18 million people, there is the percentage is coronavirus is 0.00065% deadly to the average New Yorker. That is the exact number of 117 deaths divided by 18 million people. That's how deadly the disease is at this time. It's 3.8% in Georgia, 1.6% in Florida, 2.4% in Louisiana. Those are the highest instances in the entire nation. Everywhere else is lower. New York isn't even in that high. We have a lot of people with infections. Infection does not mean death. Please understand that. Infection does not mean death. 99% of the time. So that is not something you should fear. And, looking at the numbers, it's just incredible to me. We're all fine. You're going to be fine. Eat an extra candy bar, have a pint of ice cream, have a cigarette, have a scotch or Jameson. Liquor stores are deemed essential. That is true, Neil. That is an essential business, liquor stores. If that's what gets you through with reason, go for it. If that means you have to do a couple extra sit-ups to burn off that ice cream, if it means that you go, you have that one drink and then you don't have another, that's fine. If you're an alcoholic, please reach out to those that help you. If you're a drug addict, reach out to those services that help you cope with that need. Be social, and you will get through this. You will. I see Sean. Hey, Sean. It's good to see you there. And Jonathan, let's see you. And Neil mentions, will you like that? Yeah. Well, I'm talking. I'm also reading, but, talking. So, yes. Dale, I got your message, but I'm not able to look it up right now while I'm on with everybody. But I will try and check that out and see what you sent me. And Emily, private businesses, if you own a business, you don't get unemployment. But as I had mentioned earlier, I think Neil had asked, there's $350 million that's meant and targeted specifically for small business owners, with another $425 billion that's being targeted towards business in general, to be able to make sure small businesses like yours will continue to survive and that the small business owners are going to survive. So Emily, yes, you won't get unemployment, but there are other programs that are being put together that are zero interest or absolutely forgivable to you as a business owner to keep you going past all of this. The final wording has not been passed yet, so I don't know exactly what that is yet, but it is out there. Donald mentions, I just heard the Democrats stalled the stimulus bill again this afternoon. I heard about Sunday. I didn't hear about today. I'm hoping they're not playing politics with that, but I'm not trying to. But this broadcast is not about picking blame. I'm not going to pick on people. The conversations are happening. Whether they do it right this second or whether they do it tomorrow, before the end of this week, I imagine before Wednesday, we're going to have a deal. There's going to be approximately $2 trillion that's going to be spent on making sure everyone is going to have some cash in their pocket, businesses will stay afloat, and that we will make it through the next couple of months. And then we'll go through the process all over again with people, picking on each other. And we'll get back to the business as usual of politics, but we're going to get through. We're going to get through. Chris mentions to me, Mike, I'm watching while drinking a beer and smoking a cigarette right now. Well, good for you, man. Hey, knock it out. I'm having a cigarette. Not a scotch, but, I do have wine. Tom, thank you for joining us here. And Bob mentions, nice show. I have to sign off. Give me a call when you have a minute and we can, okay. There was supposed to be an announcement from me to the general public, especially the local community, about a political situation, political announcement. I was going to do that, but this has completely thrown that out of whack. And so I'm waiting, at least for a little while longer before I make that announcement. Some people may know, some people may guess, but I haven't officially said anything yet because this isn't that time. But yes, I will be, and we'll have that conversation, and people will find out about that very soon. But I'm not focused on that right now. I'm focused on trying to be positive. I want this positive message out. I want people to hear this positive message and to share it with each other. It doesn't have to be this show. It could be just you sending out a text to someone. I spent a good part of yesterday and this morning reaching out to people, some of them who I haven't talked to in years, saying, hey, how you doing? And I still have a ton more people to reach. Just going, hey, how you doing? Are you making it through this? You're okay. You're going to be okay. I have several friends who are, constantly in touch with me. They've had some difficult things going on for themselves. And I'm like, hey, I'm here for you. Just let me know. You got to blow off steam? Knock it out. Let me hear it. Oh, yeah, let me tell you what I know is going on. You're afraid about this number or this thing that's going in politics. I've had several conversations with people about, various stocks. What should they do with their portfolios? Should they sell everything right now? The answer is no. I don't care what your portfolio is. Don't sell. Don't sell out everything. Unless you need the money, don't do it. And really, hold on. Money's coming. Because we're going to make it through this. And things will recover. It's just a matter of when. And patience is important. Patience will get us through. So I've been talking for about an hour and a half now. Pretty long. And I hope it's been very positive for people. Because it needs to be positive. Because we are not in the end of the world. As REM says, it's the end of the world. And it's the end of the world and I know it. Something like that. I'm not a singer, so I'm not going to even try and sing that. It's, and I feel fine. It's the end of the world and I feel fine. And I do. Because it's not the end of the world. Your world isn't going to end. You don't need drugs to find that out. You don't need, alcohol abuse to find that out. You don't need to abuse others to find that out. And you don't need to hurt yourself to find that out. You're going to get to tomorrow. We're going to get through this together. All of us. You are going to get through this. That's right. You are going to get through this. And we're going to be fine. And we're going to be all right. And it won't take hurting anybody or hurting yourself in any way to get through this. Because that's going to happen. I'm looking at dead in the camera. I'm looking dead in the camera. And I am telling you, you are going to be okay. You are going to survive this. You're going to do this with strength. And it's going to be beautiful. Because you are beautiful. Because you are beautiful human beings who are capable of so many things and you don't even know it. And this is just one little step to show you, hey, I can survive that too. I'm stronger than this. And you are. Chris mentions, for the first time in years, I get responses from people on the street when they say hello to them. It's not all bad. That's right. It isn't all bad. My experience, when we find ourselves in difficult times, we remember that we need and we love each other. And that all the other little things that we argue about, I don't like that clothing style. I don't like that music. Whatever it is, goes to the wayside. And we all come together and remember, you're a human being, I'm a human being, and we're all going to get through this. And I need you and you need me. And we're going to get through this. It happens every time. 9/11, down here in the southern tier, the 2011 flood in California, the Northridge earthquake in Moscow, the coup attempt. We get through this. The civil war in Tbilisi. We get through all these things. I got hit by a car, broke my leg on my motorcycle. We get through this. And this isn't the worst thing that could ever happen. And guess what? I hope it is, because you're going to survive this so well. You're going to do so great. Steve, I see you joined us. Thank you. Rory, good to see you as well. Neil, I know you got to go. Thank you, Neil. You're doing a great job. And don't worry, we're going to support your small business like all the small businesses. We're going to get you through this. And stay in touch with me. As I find out more, I'll let you know more too. I had mentioned this a little earlier to all of the politicians in the region, whether that's the local, the state, the federal, the candidates. If you are aware of programs that are helping people, if you are aware of something that is changing in the news and you are looking for another means of media to get that out quickly to people, or even after the fact, let me know. You have my airwaves. I will provide you the means to get that message out on this so that you can tell people, and I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, a conservative, a libertarian, or anything else. If you are looking to inform the public and make them aware of what's going on and to reduce the amount of fear out there, you have my airwaves available. You know how to reach me on my personal phone number, or you can reach 607-242-1582, which is the line here. You can reach me on my email. You can reach it on MV Consulting as well. Chris mentions adversity brings us all together. Adversity always brings us together. Matter of fact, it brings us together faster than anything else. But we come together, and we will. And we survive together, and we will. And we will improve and go forward together. Because as much as you may think, oh, I feel like I'm an island, you're not. You're not alone. That's why I'm on right now. You're not alone. You could be in a house like I am by yourself, with my little puppy, of course, and say, yeah, video games ain't gonna do it. Don't need movies. I'm bored. Watch this for a little while. I hope it brings you positive thoughts. I hope it uplifts you. That's what I've been wanting to do. That's why I'm doing this for an hour and a half. And maybe I'll do it again tomorrow. Whatever it takes to get us all together through this together. And by the way, for every single one of you who have mentioned something, who have watched this, whether it's a minute or whether you've watched it for the whole thing, I thank you. I appreciate it. I hope that if anything I've said can be helpful to anyone you know, please share it. Let them know about it so that they can move forward for themselves, so that we can all do better together. But folks, I've been on for about an hour and a half. If you're wondering, this is also available on YouTube on my website. This is the No Soundbites Allowed channel on YouTube. You're able to find it on my Facebook under the Voss Political Commentary. It should be on Twitter. It may or may not. If you're wondering why there's a difference between the screens and the video, that's because Facebook wouldn't let me put it on live, so I did it through my usual system. So I put it on a secondary way, but I will make sure this is available to the public. Spread it around, use it however you want, but most of all, be well, each and every one of you. And I'm looking forward to talking to you soon. Reach out to me, send me a text, send me an email, let me know you're okay. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I will try and get answers as quickly as I can through my sources to make sure you get the answers you need. Folks, I love you all. I am not worried about this because I know you are stronger than the coronavirus. Much love to all of you. Bye-bye.